Hello everyone, welcome back. Today's video begins with a question that sounds calm, almost harmless. But within minutes, that question turns into a heavy accusation. Over the last few hours, Taehyung's name has suddenly been pulled into a conversation he never asked to be part of. Not because of a controversial statement, not because of a mistake, but because of a visual work that many people have not fully understood. One word began circulating quietly among fans. Plagiarism. It was not shouted. It was whispered. Yet in the digital world, whispers often travel louder than facts. Taehyung was suddenly placed right beside that word. Without proof. Without clarification. Only assumptions reinforcing one another. As soon as fragments of the project type started to spread, comparisons appeared instantly. Screenshots were placed side by side. Colors were judged. Atmospheres were declared identical. Claims were built not on intent, but on habit. As with most controversies, it all began quietly. At first, it came as small questions disguised as neutral discussion. Some said the mood felt familiar. Others insisted they had seen something like this before. But in art, familiarity does not automatically mean imitation. Similarity becomes dangerous when context is ignored. Art is built from a shared universal language. Shadows, light, silence, expression. None of these belong to a single artist. Yet suddenly, they were treated as private property. What many overlooked was the core of the project type itself. This work does not shout. It does not chase trends. It does not rely on shock value. Instead, type turns inward, toward restraint, isolation, and identity. The silence in this project is not accidental. The emptiness is intentional. Every element is a deliberate artistic choice. This is not about copying an outer appearance. It is about expressing a state of mind. And that distinction matters now more than ever. Fans are quick to notice something else. The concepts accused of being borrowed are not new. Long before K-pop debates, similar visual languages already existed. They lived in Western editorial photography. They evolved in avant-garde fashion. They were rooted in global minimalist art movements. Rough textures, muted color palettes, empty spaces. These are tools, and tools do not belong to one creator. As the discussion grew, defenses emerged in a different tone. Not emotional shouting, but calm analysis. Fans began pulling references from decades of global art, from fashion archives, from magazine spreads, from classic films. Slowly, the narrative shifted. What was once called imitation began to look like convergence. Different artists, different paths, intersecting expressions. In Taehyung's case, this direction is not new. For years, he has been drawn to introspection. He chooses quiet tension over spectacle, lingering emotion over explosive moments. Type does not copy another artist's era. It extends a language Taehyung has already built. This is visible in his music, felt in his acting choices, even reflected in the way he speaks when no performance is required. What is surprising is how quickly inspiration became accusation. In an industry built on shared aesthetics, boundaries blur. Yet suddenly, an artist must justify silence. Even shadows require explanation. If emotional similarity equals plagiarism, creativity has no future. Only ownership claims remain. In reality, there is no official statement accusing Taehyung. No legal issue has emerged. No creative director has raised concern. What remains is online noise. Fussed, reactive, impatient. But noise always fades. Art does not. Type was never meant to be consumed loudly. It asked for time. It asked for stillness. In the end, this is not about comparison. It is about perspective. Do we see art as competition or a conversation? For many fans, the answer is clear. This is not plagiarism. This is an artist standing still in a loud world, inviting others to look closer. There is one more thing often ignored. Timing. The images were not even fully released when conclusions were drawn. No context. No complete narrative. Only fragments of a larger vision. Fragments invite projection. People see what they want to see, not what the artist intends to say. Type goes beyond visuals. Even the title suggests negation and contradiction, a refusal to fit into a mold. Taehyung does not present perfection here. He presents distance, a separation between public image and private self. When the camera stops demanding performance, tension appears. And that tension is the point. Ironically, an artist known for breaking boundaries is accused of not being different enough. Yet he is doing exactly what art has always done, reflecting the inner state through universal symbols. Darkness does not belong to one person. Neither does sadness. Silence belongs to no one. This cycle is not new for Taehyung. When he experiments, he is misunderstood. When he simplifies, he is questioned. When he stays silent, assumptions rush in. Yet silence has always been his strongest statement, and type speaks fluently through that silence. As fans continue to defend him, the tone begins to change. Less anger, more reflection, better questions emerge. Not who did it first, but what is being said now. Once that question is asked, accusations lose power, because meaning cannot be plagiarized. It can only be misunderstood. This moment reveals more about the audience than the artist, about how quickly art is consumed, compared, judged, all within seconds. But Taehyung's work has never prioritized speed. It asks us to pause, to remain quiet, to sit with uncertainty, rather than rush to label. In the end, what remains is not scandal, but clarity. Type stands as its own statement. Calm, controlled, intentionally unresolved. And no matter how loud claims circulate online, one truth remains. This is how Taehyung expresses himself, without asking for permission. This is where we end the story for now. Not with noise, but with perspective. Type is not about imitation or controversy. It is about intention, expression, and an artist who chooses silence over spectacle. Thank you for following this story. Let us continue to support art with understanding, not assumption.